Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to see some of the most disrespectful defendants who have ever faced a judge. How do these defendants think they can get away with such behavior? And what are the consequences of their actions? Let's find out. Tobias Roman. Our first case takes us to the Kern County Superior Court in California, where we meet 27-year-old Tobias Roman. He is facing multiple charges, including attempted robbery, threatening with intent to terrorize, and exhibiting a deadly weapon. These charges stem from an incident where he stalked a female employee at a mall, followed her to her car, and tried to rob her at knife point. Luckily, the woman was able to escape and call the police, who arrested Roman shortly after. Roman appears before Judge Charles Bramer for his initial court appearance. The judge asks him some standard questions to which he answers in a monotone voice, showing no emotion or remorse. The judge then proceeds to list the charges against Roman, with a focus on the attempted robberies. He says that these are serious felonies, and that Roman could face up to 25 years in prison if convicted. You would think that Roman would listen carefully to the judge, and maybe show some respect or fear. But no, he does the opposite. He tells the judge to be quiet. He says this in a loud and rude voice, interrupting the judge mid-sentence. The judge is stunned by Roman's audacity. He warns him that he is being disrespectful and that he could face additional charges for contempt of court. But Roman is not interested in cooperating. He issues a snarky retort to the judge's warning. The judge has had it with Roman. He orders the bailiffs to take him out of the courtroom. The bailiffs approach Roman and try to escort him out of the courtroom, but Roman resists. He struggles and tries to break free. He curses the judge and threatens him with violence. The judge says that Roman has just made a big mistake and that he will regret it. He then proceeds to sentence Roman for his crimes. He will serve a total of 3 years and 8 months in prison, with no possibility of parole or probation. Camilla Gamut. Our next case takes us to the Jackson County Courthouse, where we meet Camilla Gamut. She is convicted of first-degree murder for killing her boyfriend, Marcel Hill. The evidence against her is overwhelming, and the details of the murder are gruesome. She used a frying pan, a floor lamp, and a large knife to beat, stab, and slash her boyfriend to death. She claims it was self-defense, but the jury does not buy it. They find her guilty, and she faces life in prison without the chance of parole. Gamut appears before Judge John McBain for her sentencing. The judge asks her if she has anything to say before he imposes her sentence. Gamut says that she is innocent and that she acted in self-defense. The judge is not moved. He says that Gamut's claim of self-defense is absurd, and that she has no remorse for what she did. He says that there is only one possible sentence for this crime, and that is life in prison, without the chance of parole. He says that Gamut will spend the rest of her natural life behind bars, and that she will never be free again. He says that this is the appropriate sentence given the nature and circumstances of the crime. He says that Gamut has shown no respect for human life, and that she has forfeited her right to live in society. Spencer Boston. Our next case takes us to a different courtroom, where we meet Spencer Boston. He is charged with speeding and marijuana possession. He is not happy with the marijuana laws in his state, and he decides to make a statement in the courtroom, a statement that involves lighting up a joint in front of the judge. Boston appears before Judge Haywood Berry for his hearing. He says that he is not guilty of any crime and that he is a victim of unjust laws. He is not interested in respecting the court. He is interested in making a point that involves lighting up a joint in the courtroom. He pulls out a joint from his pocket and puts it in his mouth. He takes out a lighter and ignites the joint. He inhales the smoke and exhales it in the air. The judge is shocked by Boston's outburst. He orders the bailiffs to arrest him and take him out of the courtroom. Boston has just committed disorderly conduct and contempt of court, which are misdemeanors in his state, punishable by up to 11 months and 29 days in jail, and up to $2,500 in fines. The judge then proceeds to sentence Boston for his crimes. He says that Boston will serve a total of 30 days in jail and pay a $50 fine. The judge hopes that Boston learns his lesson and changes his behavior. He says that Boston has wasted his time and has shown no respect for the law, the court, or the judge. He has no sense of reality, and he has thrown away his freedom. He is a fool, and he belongs in jail. Amanda Coastal. Our next case takes us to the Michigan Department of Corrections, where we meet Amanda Coastal. She is found guilty of DUI causing a fatal accident. She was driving under the influence of alcohol, and she crashed into another car, killing the driver. The driver was a 31-year-old man who left behind a wife and 2 children. Coastal faces up to 15 years in prison for her crime. How will she react to her sentence? And how will the judge respond to her family's inappropriate behavior? Let's find out. Coastal appears before Judge Jennifer Smith for her sentencing. Coastal says that she is sorry and that she did not mean to kill anyone. She says that she made a mistake and that she regrets it. But the judge says that Coastal is only trying to avoid punishment. She says that Coastal did not make a mistake, but a choice. The judge then addresses Coastal and imposes her sentence. But the drama is not over yet. Coastal's family, who are also present in the courtroom, are not happy with the sentence. They decide to express their displeasure, and they do it in the most inappropriate way possible. They start to yell and curse at the judge, the victim's family, and the court staff, and start to throw things at them. The judge is appalled by Coastal's family's behavior. She orders the bailiffs to arrest them and take them out of the courtroom. They do not stop yelling, but they keep on screaming and cursing. The family now faces 93 days in jail and up to $500 in fines. Michael Ray. Our next case takes us to the Denver County Court, where we meet Michael Ray. He faces charges of criminal trespassing and second-degree assault. He was caught breaking into a house and attacking the homeowner with a baseball bat. He claims that he was looking for his ex-girlfriend, who he thought was cheating on him with the homeowner. He says that he was acting out of love and that he was defending his honor. He faces up to 16 years in prison for his crimes. Ray appears before Judge Ann Mansfield for his bond hearing. He says that he is not guilty of any crime and that he is a victim of a misunderstanding. The judge is not persuaded. The judge then turns to the prosecutor who is present in the courtroom. She asks him what he recommends for Ray's bond. The prosecutor says that he recommends a high bond, given the seriousness and violence of the crime. The judge thanks the prosecutor for his recommendation and says that she agrees with him. She says that Ray will be held on a $100,000 bond and that he will have to post 10% of that amount to be released. Ray will also have to wear an ankle monitor and abide by a curfew. He will have to stay away from the victim's family, and the crime scene. But Ray is not happy with the judge's decision. He decides to express his dissatisfaction, and he does it in the most disrespectful way possible. He starts to yell and curse at the judge, the prosecutor, and the victim. He also starts to make obscene gestures at them. He flips them off, sticks out his tongue, and grabs his crotch. He also starts to physically resist the bailiffs, who are trying to take him away. He tries to kick, punch, spit, and bite them. The judge orders the bailiffs to remove him from the courtroom. Ray's punishment has just increased by up to 18 months in jail and up to $5,000 in fines. Dante Wright. Our final case takes us to the New York Supreme Court, where we meet Dante Wright. He pleads guilty to charges related to the shooting death of Jordan Klee. He was involved in a gang-related dispute, and he shot and killed Klee, who was an innocent bystander. He faces up to 52 years in prison for his crimes. Wright appears before Judge Robert Jones for his sentencing. He says that he is sorry and that he did not mean to kill anyone. He says that he was caught up in the moment and that he acted impulsively. But the judge proceeds to impose his sentence. The judge then dismisses the case and orders Wright to be taken away. Wright is handcuffed and led out of the courtroom. He does not say anything, but he nods and lowers his eyes. However, the judge is not satisfied with Wright's demeanor. He thinks that Wright is not sincere and that he is only pretending to be remorseful. He calls Wright back to the stand and says that he has something to say to him. He says that he is not happy with his attitude and that he wants to make something clear to him. He says that he has just given him the minimum sentence and that he should consider himself lucky. He says that he has just given him a chance to redeem himself and that he should take it. So that's a wrap for today's video. These defendants realize that the court is a place of justice and the judge is a person of authority. Do you think these defendants should have gotten worse punishments considering the gravity of their crimes? Keep those questions coming.